A little over a year ago, I woke up feeling like something was terribly wrong with my body. I was very, very dizzy, so I was holding the walls to try to make my way to the kitchen. When I got to the kitchen, I wanted to hold a cup, but the cup was here, my hand was holding here, and my brain was feeling like somebody had put it in a tin and was squeezing it, and there was a burning sensation moving from the front of my scalp all the way to the back of my scalp. And for the first time in my life, after a very, very long time, I wouldn't say the first time, but after a very long time, I felt really, really abandoned by the universe. Hello and welcome, my name is Kartika Nair and you're watching Synchroshakti. Today I'm going to talk to you about how you can help heal any of your physical conditions using your mindset work. I'm very excited about this topic. I'm going to deep dive. So this video is for serious seekers who want to study knowledge and apply it. So if you're a serious seeker, you will stay till the end so that everything comes together. If you're a dabbler, move on because we're going to deep dive in this video. So I've been in this field of mind-body healing for a very, very long time, since I got into law of attraction when I was 14 years old, and now I'm 34 years old. So it's been a long, long time, and I have surrounded myself with so many books on healing that to me this whole mind-body healing world is so normal, and I've used so many times throughout my entire life. I've healed so many things based on mindset. So I thought I had it all figured out and everything was all cool, except when this happened. So a little over a year ago, I woke up and came out of bed feeling extremely like something is horribly wrong with my body. I started feeling very, very dizzy. So I was holding the walls trying to make my way to the kitchen. When I got to the kitchen, it was hard to stand because I felt completely wobbly in my legs. My legs felt wobbly. I felt like my brain was in a tin and was being squeezed. I felt this burning sensation in my scalp. I felt very strongly that my motor senses were off. Visual cues were a bit off. And this wasn't just one day. This happened again the next day and the next day, and it was happening again and again, and it was really throwing me off because I couldn't take my classes, which is a huge thing. I always show up for classes. 99% of all my class time I show up. I don't get sick. So this was too much. I had to cancel my classes. I couldn't cook. I couldn't stay. I had to be lying down throughout the day for days and then slowly making my way as I was getting up. Now it not only made me feel abandoned by the universe, but I started making a lot of meaning out of it. So I started suffering it, almost identifying with the situation. So what I wanted was that I could feel happy in life and feel safe and feel peaceful and have a body in which I could do anything. Now, all these basic things like walking in your house, walking down the corridor, I wanted to be able to do that because I wasn't able to do that. Just being able to breathe normally, feel okay in my head, things that we take for granted, just being able to stand and cook something or get to my class felt like such a faraway dream because I was so far removed from that. But majorly what I genuinely wanted was a sense of safety in this universe, that I'm taken care of, that I'm going to be okay, and that this stuff is going to pass. Now, I was trying my usual ways of doing things. So what I've learned, all my mind-body healing skills, I've started putting that to work. But because my negative momentum around these sensations were so strong and so weird, very strange feelings, that negative reaction I was having to these symptoms, feeling very powerless, feeling very angry, feeling very hurt, almost feeling abandoned by this universe, those feelings were so strong that whatever positive momentum I was trying to build, doing my positive mental attitude work, because these sensations would show up and I would have this adverse negative reaction to the sensations, I would get thrown off. So I'll try to be positive, then the sensations would come up, I would have this emotional reaction to the sensations, feeling hurt, angry, abandoned, and all of that negative momentum would throw off my positive momentum. So I felt really, really lost. So I had to do the next best thing, which is go to the doctors. Now, going to the doctors for me felt like a personal failure because I barely ever had to go to doctors in my life, and now I have to take their help. So I went there and I already knew they're going to find certain things, which has been things that I have experienced in my past, which was not causing these symptoms, but I knew they're going to pick it up anyway. which I knew was not causing these extremely strange symptoms, because I've had these three things, the thyroid, the low BP and the iron. I knew that these things that have come in and out of my experience before also. So I knew they'll find it, but I said, okay, we'll go there. They found that my thyroid reading was 6 point something. I'll put the screenshots. They said that I had to get on medication. and they said that if I don't take medication, then there's going to be complications, and it was a very serious situation. And I said, okay, I conceded. I came home and I took the pill, the medication, the thyroid pill. Now, when I took it, I immediately started feeling really bad in my body, and I said, no, I can't do this pills, I can't do the medication stuff. I really just want to try to do it on my own. This infuriated my husband. He was really upset, and I felt completely alone in the journey of doing it. Now, I am not recommending to anybody that you skip your meds. Please take your meds with the faith that they are healing you. I just have insane amounts of faith in mind-body healing, so I did it this way. But please, you take your medications and you do it with faith that this is also leading to your healing, okay? Unless you're psycho cuckoo like me and you have that much faith in mind-body healing. So I was by myself in that journey, but I decided I have to do it by myself. So the first thing I started doing is I went to Ashrit. Now Ashrit, many of you may have heard of them. I've done like video series with them. So many of you may know in America there is this lady called Esther Hicks. She channels these energies. Now channeling is not my field. I don't know much about it, but she channels these entities or energies called Abraham who answer people's questions. Now there's an Indian version of that. Her name is Arpita, and Arpita channels these energies called Ashrit, right? So this is the name they only gave. So it's not like the energies called themselves that. They gave them this name. The energies have no name. But I went to them, and whenever, you know, all coaches need coaches. So whenever I have a blind spot or I'm not able to figure out a certain piece of the puzzle, I go to them. So I told them this is the thing. Every time the symptoms come up, I just go into this negative spiral down. I start identifying with it. I start feeling hurt and angry. So they said, see, the symptoms that are showing up are just a reflection of your previous thoughts. So nothing to worry about. They're just reflections of your previous thoughts. So I said, okay. So every time the symptoms came up, I thought to myself, okay, this is just past thoughts are burning away. Past karmas are just burning away. So all of this is just leaving my system. So I did not judge or resist when the symptoms came up. I just looked at it as, okay, it's just a reflection of previous thinking, previous worrying, previous whatever, which I knew exactly what was causing all of this emotionally was a few years ago. There was probably the very last major trauma of my life. That one's remnants was still inside my brain, because that's where majority of my emotional pain was stuck, was in my head. It was a lot of fear up here. So I had an inkling that this was basically because of the fear around that experience was basically what stuck in my head. So I said every time the symptoms came up, I just said, okay, this is just all of that past thoughts that are getting cleared away. So I'm not resisting, I'm not judging my symptoms. So now that I became friends with my symptoms and I didn't judge or resist them, and they were there most of the time, that made me have some inner space and inner peace to be able to start doing my usual vibrating higher than the disease, or basically all the positive mental attitude stuff. So what did I start doing? So first thing that I did was I started imagining this beam of light moving from my head all the way down to the soles of my feet, and even beyond the soles of my feet, keeping me in place. So keeping my balance in place. That's the first thing I started imagining myself doing, that I was balanced. So wherever I was walking, I was doing whatever, I was imagining that there was this beam of light holding my balance. That's the first thing I did. Second thing I did is I started imagining that there's this spiritual soap that was just, I was cleansing my brain with that spiritual soap in my mind and my imagination, and I was massaging my brain, so it starts relaxing, and I would imagine this beautiful divine water just coming and cleansing my brain, and my brain being this super clean brain with that, when you have that little shine, like one little star, ding, like that kind of shine on my brain. I started also seeing that my thyroid was this beautiful butterfly. At that time I was teaching some classes, I don't know which classes they were, but during the classes I was using in my PPT, I was using this GIF of one particular butterfly, one blue butterfly, very beautiful butterfly. So imagine that butterfly was my thyroid. It was so beautiful, and I was feeling so proud that my thyroid is Mensa level genius thyroid, who does everything perfectly, it functions perfectly, it does things that are mind-boggling. I'm so proud watching my thyroid. So I started practicing ideas like this, and Then when I was feeling in all of these sensations 100% of the time, it went down to 80% of the time of my waking time, went down to 50% of my waking time, went down to 30% of my waking time. So I could start my classes again, I could do small things back again. I was still feeling weird, out of balance, but not as bad as I was feeling before. So I started getting really excited that everything is slowly going to get better. One day I had to go outside of my house, right outside my house, to pick up a packet delivery, because the delivery truck was coming to my house. So I walk out of my house and I go, the delivery guy gives me the packet. So I'm looking down at the packet and then I look back up. Now there's a forest in front of my house here in Croatia. So I look outside and I look at the forest, and suddenly all of the colors of the leaves, everything becomes extremely bright. Like somebody just took one, like one brightness controller in my head and just made it really, really bright. But not like I'm about to faint. Like it wasn't that kind of yellowy brightness. It was like all the colors became really bright and the dimensions started moving a bit. So the visual cues, something was not right. Things started feeling a lot more further away. Just something felt weird. So I take the packet, I go back and I'm sitting over here actually, right over here, and I'm looking on my phone, and I did the cardinal sin. The biggest cardinal sin is I googled my symptoms. There are songs written on this. Don't Google your symptoms. No, I googled my symptoms. I googled it and every Google search led to something absolutely crazy, and spiraled down. Finally, by the end of it, I was convinced. I still don't know what the actual true diagnosis was or what really caused those symptoms. I still don't know, but according to Google, it was all horrible stuff, incurable, have 5 months to live. And I started thinking, is this the end? Is this how my life ends? Is there nothing more? Is it over? And I don't want it to be over. I have a beautiful life. I don't want it to be over at all. And then I remembered something from one particular book. This is a book. It's called The Dynamic Laws of Healing by Catherine Ponder. It's a rare book, but it's a beautiful, powerful book. In this book, there is a law. It's called the no law. It's the second law here, okay? It's called the no law. I remember this law when I was scrolling and asking these questions, is this the end of my life? The no law basically states that you say, no, this is not my story. This is not how my story ends. This other thing is what's going to happen in my life, not this. That's a no law. It's a law of denying that internal story that is going on in your head. So usually we tend to do that. We start thinking about going to doctor and all the procedures, and no. That's not me, that's not my story, that's not what's going to happen. Especially when we start identifying that this is me, I am someone with this disorder. No, that's not my story, that's not how it's going to end. So I started taking things even more seriously. So now I had to produce the emotions. Again, I continued with the beam of light and the massaging my brain and the beautiful butterfly thyroid. But I started adding a couple of more things to produce stronger emotions. So 3 things that I added. The first one was that I would imagine these reporters running over to me and saying, scientists have now discovered that you have the most healthiest brain in the world. How do you feel? And they'll put the mic in my mouth, and I'm thinking, wow, scientists have discovered I have the most healthiest brain in the world. Now that I have heard this, I feel so grateful, I feel so excited, I feel so happy. So I'm producing those emotions. Then another reporter runs to me and says, scientists have now discovered that you have the most brilliant thyroid in the world. How do you feel? Oh yeah, I feel so proud of my thyroid. I'm so at awe watching this beautiful butterfly do its thing, and I'm in this elevated emotional state. Then I also did one more thing, which was so when I'd gone to the doctors previously and I'd seen the thyroid report, I saw what was the pushing it to high and the low. So I looked at the number right in between. What is the mean, like the middle number, the ideal number? It was 2.05 on that report. So I decided in my mind, I was imagining that I'm going back to the doctor, I'm getting this report, and I'm seeing 2.05 in that report. That's the number I'm seeing. And I'm hearing in my imagination the doctor telling me that my thyroid has naturally corrected, and how surprised he is that it is naturally corrected. I have used these even before in many, many different situations, so I had faith in this particular way of doing it. And so I started getting into this energy. I did this for a few days. And lo and behold, eventually, as I was doing this, my balance started becoming stronger. My brain started feeling lighter and like more empty, not full of this push. And especially at the back of my head, the pressure was very strong. There was no pressure; it was calmer, because that's how I was seeing my brain. My thyroid, everything was. I was feeling normal. I could like live a whole day, 3 days, 5 days, being able to cook, do things, travel, all of that, all that great stuff. And then one day I go back to the doctors and we do the thyroid test, and my thyroid results come out exactly 2.05. I'll put the numbers here on the screen. And I heard the doctor saying in Croatian, not in English, he said that your thyroid has corrected, and he's surprised. And so I didn't have any shame of not taking the medication. But again, I don't advise you to not take your medication. Do it with the faith that even this is healing you, unless you're psycho crazy like me and you decide to do it without. I'm not doctor, cannot give you advice. I'm just telling you the mindset that you can incorporate in your current way of living, so that this can just make your healing a lot faster, because mind and body are connected. Now, major thing is I got to actually feel that safety, knowing how powerful my body is to heal, knowing that my body is a healing machine and that the universe is supporting that healing. So that safety was returned back to me, and that peace was returned back to me. And of course, I traveled to multiple countries after that. When I came back to India, this was last year and a half, something like that, I did the thyroid test again. And I had perfect readings. I did it one more time, this time when I went to India, and I had perfect readings. So from that time to now, the thyroid is still functioning in beautiful ways, and I didn't do anything beyond just that belief that my thyroid is so phenomenal performer. So that was my whole thing. Now, what do we take back? Firstly, if that story was helpful to anybody here, just type helpful in the chat. Of course, all those symptoms were years ago. I never had those symptoms again, and I've traveled even more countries, and I've done even more work even after that without those symptoms coming back. Now, what are the major lessons that I have learned? So there's a beautiful video by Ashrit on my channel. I'll talk about that in a moment. These are the 3 things. The first one is to drop your resistance around the symptoms. So if you notice in the story, I just said, okay, the symptoms are just my past thoughts burning away. So it's just a reflection of my previous whatever I was thinking. So this is just burning away. So I didn't resist it, and I didn't make meaning. So I didn't make it into an identity. I didn't go down this negative vortex of doing more research, Google. Stop it. Stop feeding it into your mind. Okay, you're not creating more of a story in your head of this and solidifying it. Enough, over, throw it in the dustbin. So don't make too much meaning out of things. This is the first one. Don't resist and don't make meaning. The second one is to shift your focus to other things. I'll give you a mini story here just to give you a context. So I was returning back home from my hometown with my parents and my family in the car. And I was processing certain emotions that I was feeling, very strong emotions I was feeling, because I'd visited a relative and I was feeling certain things that I felt like I needed to process. So as I was processing those strong feelings, because it's my job, it's my creation, everything is me only. So I was processing my emotions. I started sneezing. Never in my life have I sneezed some 55 times and just non-stop sneezing. And now I can feel that coarseness in my throat, and my nose is itching and dripping, and I start getting a bit worried because I have meet and greet in a few days and I have to travel back to Croatia in a few days. I can't afford to get sick right now. So I'm feeling all of this physiological sensations. Also, I knew it had something to do with the fact that I was processing strong emotion, because they're all interconnected. But I started feeling all of this, and I was like, okay, I need to listen to Ashrat's recording now. There's a video on my YouTube. I have a whole playlist of Ashrat's guidance for free on YouTube. And there's this one video which is worth $1 billion. Maybe all of their guidance is worth $1 billion. But for me, the special one on healing, it's on my channel. And the funny thing is, it's got like some 2,000, 4,000 views. But it can heal everything. And it's on my channel for free. And I don't know why YouTube didn't push it in the algorithm. If people just watch that video, I'll link it down. It is so powerful. So we were listening, we played it on the speakers of the car, we were listening, all of us, to Ashrit. We listened to it one time, we listened to it second time, we listened to it the third time, and each time the teaching was just seeping deeper into us, and the teaching was shift your focus, shift your focus, shift your focus. So every time my focus would come back on that sensation in my throat or my nose or the sneezing or whatever, I would immediately look outside. And we were traveling Kerala to Bangalore, so we were going through such a beautiful landscape, and I was watching all the hills and the rocks and the nature and the lakes, and I was just having such a ball appreciating all that is outside. And every time my mind would go back to, oh, but you're sick, I would just focus my attention away. I would drop my resistance. I'm not judging this or resisting it, I'm just looking away. Okay, yeah, I know this, now let me go and focus my attention elsewhere. So that whole, I don't know, it was an 8-hour, 10-hour, 12-hour journey, I was focused elsewhere, I was focused outside. And I reached Bangalore, and then I realized later that I totally forgot that there was some symptoms coming up, and I just moved on. And basically I flipped reality, because I was focused, because what you focus on, what you give your attention to, is what's manifesting. What do? We get hyper focused on our sensations, we become hyper paranoid, we start looking down our throat, we look in the mirror, we Google us, we put so much attention and energy and fear and worry into it that it blows up out of proportion, and then it becomes our whole reality for 1 week, 2 weeks, 2 years, 2 lifetimes, right? Because that's where our identity focus is. I was focusing elsewhere. So this is the second one, shift your focus. By the way, if you're learning something, just type learning, a little pattern interrupt. Also remember, books like these, Breaking the Habit of Being Yourself, Joe Dispenza, and of course the granddaddy of all beautiful healing case studies, we have Becoming Supernatural, also by Joe Dispenza. Because of my head has been so deeply into these books for so long, it's normal for me to have faith in healing. This will improve your faith. Okay, that was just a bit pattern interrupt for you. Now let's go to the third and the last part of what you can be doing to heal, and that is to actually teach your body how you want it to feel. So if you notice, I was doing all these things, all these visions, right, within myself to make my body believe a certain thing. Like I was imagining my thyroid being this beautiful butterfly. I'm so proud of her. She's Mensa level genius. I'm feeling all these positive emotions. I'm vibrating higher than the disease. I'm not in depression, in sadness, oh poor me, oh my life. No, reporters are coming to me and asking me questions, and I'm answering in joy, and I'm visualizing that experience, because I'm teaching. If I can visualize my body in a certain state, my body is listening to every thought I'm thinking, every moment of my life. And the moment you start saying things like this one is deteriorating, my health is really bad, my body is not working, instantly your body starts going back down. It's all functions start going back down instantly it listens to your thoughts, and you're doing it, you're making it worse. Stop it. Start teaching your body, and talk about your body in the way that you want it to listen and behave, because your body is a healing machine. Notice that today you have a cut, tomorrow it's healed. Today you ate some pav bhaji or something, tomorrow morning your stomach is back to normal. How powerful our stomach is, how powerful our body is, how powerful our muscles are. If you can learn to acknowledge the power of your body and the things that are healing, the way you speak about your body, the way you think about your body also begins to change. All that will affect how fast you recover, because your words are spells, your thoughts are spells. Think positively about your body by appreciating all the good it's already doing, noticing its magic, noticing all that is working instead of only focusing on what's not working. So speaking, visualizing it in its best state, and maintaining that consistently until, the way I had practiced this thyroid and this beam was, I was completely convinced. If someone woke me up at 3 in the morning and asked me about my health, I would say, wow, my thyroid is so wonderful, amazing. That's my predominant story. No one could convince me otherwise. That's how strong your story should be, that no one else can convince you otherwise. Story, especially when you study these kind of books, you get so bombarded with all these healing stories that your faith will become even stronger. And so with that faith, faith can move mountains. It will definitely help you. For those who study this video till this end, congratulations. It will definitely help you in healing and coming to what you want. Focus on what you want. Pure positive health. Don't focus on I don't want this. Focus on having this. Pure positive health. Healthy eyes. great feeling brain, great feeling body, great feeling stomach, great feeling energy. Focus on what you want, not trying to get away from what you don't want. So with that, I want to just tell you two things. Number one, if you want, so I am planning to do a 5-day course. It'll obviously be below 5,000 rupees. So get that thought out of your mind. Course and money, no. I am planning to do a course. I haven't decided on it, but the plan is there. If anybody wants to get on a waiting list, so we can inform you when that course comes out. If you want to register, I haven't decided whether to do it, but that's the plan. You can get on a waiting list. The waiting list form will be below. So we plan to do a 5-day program on this. The second thing is, if you're looking to create changes in all areas of life, not just health, I want to invite you for our free webinar. This one is called How to Change Your Life Within 6 Months Without Forcing Positivity and Without 5 AM Rituals. If you're excited on that one, you're going to learn the entire methodology A to Z. We did this class thrice before, so we've got a lot of great feedback on this class. It's very powerful. Every year we do a fantastic class. This year we're doing this one, How to Change Your Life in Less than 6 months Without 5 AM Rituals or Forcing Positivity. You're going to learn the whole A to Z methodology. You're also going to learn how you can help shift people and situations without forcing anything outside. Means you can change people and situations without forcing anything. It's beautiful. And you'll also learn how to maintain consistency in doing this kind of inner work. If that's for you, find out more and register. You'll find the information below, so you can get into that waiting list. I'll also put below the books, as well as the Ashrit video, as well as the waiting list for that course, where we can just live together do these exercises. And if you can't make it live, we have replays. Do the exercises to kind of put yourself vibrating higher than the disease. If you're excited about that, go register below. I hope I've given you as much as I can in this little, I don't know, 20-minute video. I love you all. Thank you so much for watching. You have the power to heal yourself. Own that power, put it in your heart, shine your health in the world. You can do it. You can do it. If you can do it, just type I can do it in the chat. Please subscribe if you felt videos like this were helpful for you. Share this with somebody who needs to move their identity to a healthier version of themselves. And I look forward to seeing you in another video. Thank you for joining me, and Namaste.